Hello and welcome to Game Gain. My name is Muzz, and today we're just going to be taking a look back and then we're going to be taking a look forward at the games that are coming out and what games I enjoyed in 2019. So, the first half will be all about 2019. I'll run through some of the games that I played in 2019 that I think deserve a shout out, deserve to be recognised for being enjoyable experiences, and then the 2020 portion we'll look at what games I'm looking forward to because yeah, every year I seems to get more and more games that I want to play. But we'll start with 2019. So the first game that I would like to highlight would be Astrobot. And this isn't games that came out necessarily in 2019. This is games that I played in 2019. The first one would be Astrobot um, for the PlayStation VR. It is just a very fun, enjoyable game. Um, Great use of VR, very enjoyable levels, very unique perspectives. Allow you to you control a little robot, but you are the camera, and as you move through the level, you move through it with it, and you can like peek around corners. You have to look over ledges, but you can also interact. You can throw like ninja stars that the little robot can jump up. It's just very well made game, well thought out. Absolutely enjoyed my time with this. Blood and Truth. Now, there's going to be a few VR games on here because I love VR. I think it's a great way to play video games, and I think it could be the future of how we enjoy entertainment. And I think this is another great game to show off, different to Astrobot because it's more action packed, it's more gruesome in terms of its story. It's kind of like a London gangster movie, and like something that Guy Ritchie would potentially do. But no, thoroughly enjoyed it. The acting in it is cool. The story is decent. I enjoyed the story, and it just makes you feel like a badass. You know, you feel like you're an action movie hero going through all these insane set pieces that you know can turn your stomach a wee bit. I'm quite good in VR, but I felt a wee bit, whoa, these are a bit much. But they are incredible when you're in VR, and I thoroughly recommend that if you have a VR and you've not played it, you go out and get it. Football Manager 2019. This game is very different to any of the ones on the list because you are managing a football team. You don't actually play the the game essentially. You do everything behind the scenes. You hire the staff. You um, bring in players, sell players, deal with their emotions. I guess have interactions with them. A lot of reason, a lot of text, lot of numbers. It's not really, yeah. It's not like any of the other games. You don't pick up a controller, and go straight into a level, and you're playing. You're trying to build a team to go out onto a pitch, and then all you do is you watch. You have no control over what happens on the pitch, other than you can make substitutes. You can, instruct your players to play a different way and all that. But what the main reason that I love Football Manager is because it has an online league system that you can play, and me and two of my other friends, we set up a league in which we started in League One as Blackpool. I was Blackpool. Didn't work out there. I got fired, but then managed to work my way up to Wolves, where I won a League Cup. But it just adds that little bit more competitive element to it when you're playing it with your friends, and it's yeah, probably I I'd be scared to look at how many hours I put into it in 2019 because yeah, it would be a lot. But thoroughly, you know, enjoyed the game. It's a different. It's just different. It's just not. If you don't like football or you're not into it, it's not really going to make much sense. But yeah, to me, enjoyed it. Doom. So I got a chance to finally. play the very first Doom, and yeah, it still holds up. Still a fun video game. Obviously, graphics are limited, sounds are limited, but yeah, it still is very enjoyable. Levels are, well, at times they can seem a little bit short. As you go on, they get more complex and really opens up the game a little bit. And it's just, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed my time with Doom, and so much so that I bought the second one, which is I've still not completed because it is so much harder than the first one. The first one had a nice sort of difficulty progression where it did get quite hard towards the end, but the second one is cheat. It's ridiculous, some of the levels. But for the first Doom, it's still a classic. It still holds up today, and I think it's one I could go back to. You know, every now and again, just play through the levels, and because it's not that long, but it what you do play, it's well worth whatever you pay for it. Resident Evil 7. This was incredible. I played this game in VR, and it's one of the best video game experiences I have had in terms of the immersion I had in it, the tension, the fear I felt. Like, I've never played a game and felt like this quite before. It is fantastic. The graphics in the game in the VR are the best, hands down, the best I've played so far. The storytelling, classic Resident Evil. The gameplay, classic Resident Evil. But when you're in the goggles, it just amplifies everything. It amplifies the enemies, the situations you're in. It is incredible. I cannot understand. If you have a VR system, play this in VR. It's a horror game, so I know to a lot of people it doesn't sound enjoyable. And believe me, when I was playing it, I was like, this is not enjoyable. But see, after it, when you really reflect on it, you think, yeah, never felt like that before, um, or during a game. It was some experience, and I look forward to the next Resident Evil. I hope they make another Resident Evil in VR. If they don't, I hope they make a horror game of this caliber again, or a game like this comes out on the VR system, because it's just, whew, it was it was tough to get through, but if you get through it, wow, you feel amazing. Apex Legends. As we come to perhaps what was my most my biggest surprise, definitely, from 2019, because this came out of nowhere. I would just stopped playing Fortnite. I think that got too much for me, and I pulled back. And then this new battle royale comes out. Me being a bit skeptical, I was like, oh, just cashing in on it. But Respawn have made a very enjoyable battle royale game, and I'm glad to see it's lasted as long as it has. It's still going. It seems to be getting stronger. It is a fun, very unique take on the battle royale, because of the hero system, which all the heroes are unique, diverse. My favourite being Caustic, although on the latest map he's not as useful, but on the first map he was incredibly useful. And just it's just the gunplay, shooting is some of the best I experienced in 2019. The guns are all A lot of the guns in the game are very useful, very different, and fun to use. The abilities, as I say, with the heroes, unique take, and they really add this different dynamic for the game. They really create a sense that you have to work with your team to try and figure out the best combinations of characters, or if you're fighting another team, you have to identify who their characters are, and then you could try and work out how you can take them down. And it just provided a lot of unique situations like that. And I think, yeah, I've played it so many times and I thoroughly enjoy my time with it. I think, yeah, Respawn, props to you for doing this. I know you went behind EA's back, and I appreciate that because you turned out a very good game. Now, for the next section, I'm going to talk about the games that I'm looking forward to in 2020. Because, as I said, there's a few that I really want. And with this being seemingly the last, well, it is the last year of the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, it's going to be interesting to see how the generation finishes. Now, with the PlayStation 3, The Last of Us came out, one of, if not my favourite game ever made, so I'm excited to see what is in store for us this year. The first game I'm going to talk about is actually one that's coming out as of this recording this week, next week. Yeah, a couple of days. And that's Dragon Ball Kakarot. Now, if you know me, if you follow me, you know I love Dragon Ball, so I was gonna buy this game regardless. I bought Dragon Ball Fighters despite not being the biggest fighting game fan. I bought Dragon Ball Xenoverse despite it not being the best game in the world, but I still enjoyed it. Now this game looks, I'm trying to, interesting to me. Not because it's like, take out the Dragon Ball stuff. This game looks very a very different take because it's an open world game in Dragon Ball, but you're playing through the story of Dragon Ball. So it could be there could be a few interesting things that we learn along the way, like different side missions that lead you to different characters, or you find out some different things. But yeah, it's a Dragon Ball game. I'm going to buy it. I'm looking forward to it, and I think it will be a good game. Doom Eternal. Now, if you watched my video game index for Doom 2016, you will know my love for the original game. And I think this next one is just going to take it up a notch in every sense of the word. I think the weapons are going to be better. I think the movement, the combat looks insane already, completely blows the original game out of the water. The new enemies look very unique, very cool, even though they're from, I believe, the original couple of Doom games. They look fantastic. And yeah, it's just another Doom game. And I think this will be a fantastic game. I think this will eclipse the Doom 2016, the reboot, and just increase every aspect of it and improve every aspect of it. Sorry, and just yeah, fantastic looking game at the minute. And they have a multiplayer where like people can invade your game and become like a demon, kind of like Dark Souls, which hopefully I can play with that off for the first playthrough, but then I might dabble in it for the second playthrough. But yeah, cannot wait for Doom Eternal. I'm so unbelievably hyped for this game. And the music! How could I forget about the music? Doom soundtrack, one of the best soundtracks to a game ever. I believe the same people are back, so I'm anticipating another amazing soundtrack. So yeah, can't wait to check it out. Cyberpunk 2077. This game looks unbelievable. I I've with these games that I'm talking about, I've tried to stay away from them because I don't want to spoil them or ruin it. I don't want to see too much. I want to be surprised. I know I want Cyberpunk, so I've tried to keep myself away with it. But what I have seen, it just looks like a game that I cannot fathom. It sounds so advanced compared to every other game that I have played. The scenarios, the different ways you can do levels. Sure, we've had that in the past with kind of Deus Ex and stuff like that, but this was like it's on another another level. The graphics look amazing. The whole environment seemed very cool, very obviously very futuristic, but also kind of like Blade Runner, where it's like it's futuristic, but it's kind of a bit grimy. So yeah, it just looks an insane game. And Keanu Reeves is in it. I mean, what more can you want? Fantastic looking game, and another one I just cannot wait to play. I think it will. I don't think it'll be in my head. I feel like I've bigged it up a lot, but I still feel like it'll be. I mean, they've done The Witcher 3, which is probably one of the best games that I haven't played. I own it. I just don't have the time to delve into it. So I'm very much looking forward to this, and I'm sure it will be an unbelievable game. I'm sure it won't be as big as what I'm anticipating, but I'm sure it'll be just just shy of that mark. I think it'll be a fantastic game, without sort of rewriting the script on designing video games. Ghost of Tsushima, another game that I cannot wait to play. Sucker Punch, Infamous developers. I've loved the Infamous games. I've followed them all the way, and I think this looks just very interesting. A setting that is I've never really played in a video game. You're playing as a samurai, which I feel is a very underutilized character period in video games. That sort of setting, especially in modern, it might have been more like PS1, PS2, using that era. But in this, there's only really Neo that I can think of off the top of my head, which is another great game that I've not played. I own it again, just don't have the time. And it just looks. I think this will be the most cinematic. I watched the E3 demo for it, and I've watched some of the trailers for it, and it looks just the. Is it a PS5 game? I don't think it's been announced as a PS5 game, but it could be the first like cross-gen. You know how where they do PS4 and PS5. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened because the game looks amazing. The story in this, I anticipate, is going to be good. I think it's going to be a good story, judging from just what I've seen of it. I think it'll be very methodical in its storytelling pace, if that makes sense. Like, it'll slowly start to ramp up, and I think it will create some very unique and interesting scenarios for us to play. So yeah, cannot wait to get my hands on Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know when it comes out. Hopefully 2020. The Last of Us Part 2. And we're saving the best, the most anticipated game of 2020 for the end. And that is The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us still is atop my video game index. I think it's one of the best games ever made, one of the best stories ever told. Not just in a video game, but one of the best stories I've been a part of. The characters are incredible, the combat, the setting, and I can't wait to see what they do with part 2. Seems like it's going to be a lot more from Ellie's perspective. I love that. I think Joel had his time, and now it's Ellie's turn to really take centre stage and show us what she can really do. I'm anticipating crying again. Cried at the first one. Know I'm going to cry at the second one. It just looks amazing. The graphics. Again watched the E3 demo. Unbelievable. The graphics look unbelievable. The way people react in that game when they get hurt just looks so realistic. And the story looks interesting. It seems like a story of revenge, which can be quite cliched, but I'm hoping. I mean, I think I know the Naughty Dog will throw a few spanners in the works for us, but yeah, Last of Us Part 2 is rightly so my most anticipated game of 2020. And the other games that I mentioned are, equally, maybe not equally, but just behind it. I think it is already going to be a good year for gaming. With the new consoles coming out, it's a new chapter, and I think the industry is going to do a good job of closing off the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and bringing in a new era of video games. Before we go, I would like to do something a little bit fun and just have a shot in the dark at things that I want to see. It's games I want to see come out, and the first one would be Dead Space, something Dead Space, whether it be a remaster, a new game. It's time. I went back and played it for my index, and it still holds up. It is an incredible video game, incredible horror experience that deserves another chance to exist, whether that be through a remaster, whether that be through a new game. Because it just, like, you look at the horror games that have came out since it, and you can only really pick out a handful which are equally as good or better than it. But just fantastic game, and I think it definitely deserves a new chance to show everyone what it can do. And then my other shot in the dark, which is again, in fact, I just thought of another one. So, Time Splitters 2 was one of my favourite games of my childhood. Me and my friends would all come round and play Virus and play through the campaign co-op, and it would be just such a good time. I want to see a new Time Splitters, whether it be a remaster or something else, because it's a shooter that deserves to be, again, show what it can do. And I think with the online multiplayer, you can have such fun with that series in terms of the multiplayer modes. And it does it. It's just, I can't believe there's not been a new Time Splitters since Time Splitters 3. It is really, can't fathom why. It was maybe the third one didn't sell well. I don't know, but I love the third one as well. So hopefully that gets another chance to shine. My final one is going to be, I want a new Jak and Daxter game. I don't want a remaster. There's been remasters. I want a new one. Whether that be Naughty Dog, I don't anticipate they will do it. I think Jak and Daxter deserves a new look, a new developer to take a look at it and give us something. Because that, again, for my childhood, that was one of my favourite game series. Jak 1, Jak Precursor, something. I can't even remember the title. It's shocking. Jak 2 and then Jak 3. And then I played the PSP game with Daxter, where you're an exterminator. Just such a fun series, such a good series that I wish it would be given another shot. I think it deserves it. I think mascots wise, they are up there with probably like Spyro, Ratchet and Clank for the PlayStation. And yeah, I would like to see a new game in 2020. Will those happen? Probably not, but that's why it's a shot in the dark. So if you like this video and you want to hear me talk about some more games, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. Ring the bell. And any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks, leave them below. Thank you very much.